Hi Lynn, I have been giving chapter 26 in the book, or 22 if you're looking in the PDF file. And my little speech here is going to focus a lot on how the unreliable narrator is presented in this chapter, and how this he's being a sociopath and having two identities is a part of that. And furthermore, it's going to focus on how the genre is the postmodernism genre is represented in this chapter and is in the book, and I'm going to use quotations to understate understate my opinion on this. So to start out with the just a little short brief of how this chapter is, he's going to work and he finds out as he is on his way to work and he's standing down on ground level that he looking up at his office on third floor that there has been a fire and all of the windows have sort of exploded or popped out, and as he looks up he sees two firemen which are pushing a desk out of the window, and I'm not sure how exactly, but he gets in he gets in a bus after his after having talked shortly with Tyler, and he gets in a bus, and in this bus it's filled with members of Fight Club, which takes him, which cuffs him, and they says that they are going to cut off his testes, but because that's what he himself had told them previously when he said that if I ever say I will close Project Mayhem, you are allowed to do this to me, and kind of a freaky situation where the members they say that he is all the things that he says that he would be saying them, and it's sort of a paradox that he always said them but doesn't really is aware of it, and they call him Tyler, and we really see how these two these two characters from the scene, the original narrator and Tyler are sort of getting into one in this chapter in this situation. And to focus now on the unreliable narrator, we see here already in the first chapter. I'm kind of confused why he's when the two firemen are pushing out a desk from the third floor and it's dropping down on the curb, the sidewalk, and it smashes totally. He says, "quote It's my desk," and I'm not sure how he's able to say that if there's been a fire of it. It just may seem that he has been a bit confused of seeing this and a bit of paranoia, and furthermore, without even talking to his boss previously in this chapter, he says, "I know my boss is dead," and I'm not sure how he knows this because he hasn't seen the body of his boss. He hasn't talked about anyone about his boss in this chapter. Anyone told him that his boss was destitute. It's just like it's from his own mind. He's making this up that his boss is dead. But then we get the that's then we get further down also in chapter one, just further down here, and that also makes it a bit fractured. That we get told this why he knows why his boss is dead. We are told because I know this because Tyler knows this, and this sort of represents both how the story is really fractured up in how we have to understand how he thinks in smaller bits across the story, but it also represents how he has become Tyler almost. They are becoming the same person, and this sociopath characteristic that having a split personality or having two personalities, but this is not have has not evolved from one person. This has almost evolved from two persons actually melting into one. So Tyler and the narrator, unreliable narrator, is one person, and that only gets confirmed a bit more when we get in deeper into the story. And see here, we have it on page 6, I think. We have a piece where he says page 6. Let me just find that correct. He says, yeah, here all the way through the story, he has been he has been saying I, me, my, and so on. It's a first person character, and now he's saying you. It first drops in here, when you say a million miles away, a bazillion miles away, a rough, warm hand wraps around the base of you and pulls you back, and something is holding you tighter, tighter, and tighter. A rubber band, you're on island, you're in Fight Club, you're at work, you're anywhere but here. It even it extends my idea of this sociopathic characteristic that he now is saying you in the story instead of I and me and so on. It's just another characteristic for a sociopath. If we go back up in the text again and I want to talk about the quotation I had just previously. Um, this quotation, I know this because Tyler knows this. It's sort of like this stream of consciousness that we have for the narrator. We knows what his next move is going to be. That Tyler, he knows that just as well, and because he knows this, he has become the same. They have become the same person because that's what Tyler is. That's what his whole plan is to do. That they have to become the same person, the sort of leader of Fight Club and Project Mayhem, and furthermore, I want to talk about how his exploded office is representing the last part that was of his old life. I actually find it a bit strange that he's been holding on to that he is actually going to work still and sees this. But when it explodes and he loses his desk, loses his job, it's the last goodbye to this old life of working as a slave at a shitty job which he hates and having an apartment filled with stuff that he don't need, shit that he don't need, and it's all this materialism that is going away from him. He's losing all of his previous life, and he's now just a Fight Club member or leader. Yeah, well, that's pretty much what I had to say about chapter 26.